Hey guys, it's Fox. I'm here today with another cosplay review, this time from CosplaySky. Yes, I also didn't do my makeup for this one. I am tired. I just got back from an event, and I don't have a cute cat here right now because we're picking him up tonight, so I can't distract you. I'm sorry, but also not, because like I said, I'm tired. So we're gonna get started. So this is the Harley Quinn Birds of Prey costume from CosplaySky. They do have 3 different versions of this costume. I don't know what the difference is between them, but this one is the cheapest one, the $61.99 one, and also their Harley Quinn wig. There are some good things and there are some bad things, and as you guys know, when I do reviews, I am honest. This video is sponsored in that they sent me these pieces for free. That will not change my opinion in any way whatsoever. And yeah, I am a blunt, honest reviewer, and that is going to continue. So we're gonna start with the costume itself. I had the opportunity to wear it this past weekend, so I found out some other little things that bug me about it that we will get into, and we can start. First off, it is an extra large. It is the largest size that it currently comes in, which again means that it's not super accessible for plus size cosplayers. I don't consider myself plus size. I fall kind of in the middle range between, you know, Asian sizing and US sizing. Usually I have to order extra large when I do Asian sizing, but I still usually fit in it. So I ordered an extra large for this costume. Things pretty much just about fit how I expected them to. So again, if you're a plus size cosplayer, you might have to look into, I believe they have a custom sizing option. I could be totally wrong, but their sizing is pretty accurate, so I wouldn't recommend buying it in the hopes that it would fit. We're gonna start with the shorts that go inside. I'm gonna show you a picture of me wearing this actual costume. The shorts are pretty nice. They have a metal button and a metal zipper. They feel like a thin denim. There's no seam at the edge of the like frayed parts, so there's nothing stopping them from continuing to rip and fray up. But otherwise, they're pretty nice. This is probably the loosest part of the costume, probably just because of the waist measurements. It seems like the waist and the hip are pretty similarly cut. But there's space for a belt, and it wasn't that big, so I didn't really have an issue with it myself. It looks like the stars and the stripes are just kind of screen printed on. Like I said, I had no issue with this. I wish there were pockets, but instead there's like fake sewn lines for pockets. I don't even know if you can see that, but yeah, there's no pockets, but the button and the zipper held up to use. It's totally fine. And yeah, I think this is totally legit and I liked it. Next up is the jumpsuit itself. I was a little disappointed in the fabric when it came. It's just kind of like a silky, I don't even know, it has to be a polyester. Which is fine. It ended up actually looking really nice. I was disappointed at first, but I really had no issue at the event or wearing it for a long period of time. I will say that it does get very warm in the pants themselves. There are knee pad pieces with actual, like a thin piece of foam. However, I did notice that when I would sit or bend my leg, the knee pad would come up above the knee. So it's not necessarily proportioned correctly. But when I'm standing, it looks fine. So it's really just like, it doesn't stay in place, 1, and 2, it's kind of like right at my knee. So when I sit, it rides way higher rather than a little bit under my knee, which is probably where it would fit better. Again, no pockets. There's like this little front pocket piece that is intercepted by a zipper that I guess you could put stuff in, but oh, and I guess there is a back zipper. There are 2 butt pockets. Not big enough for a phone, but maybe a wallet or something small, but no side pockets. The stitching is pretty good. After one wear, this fabric is kind of, I don't want to say shredding, but it's that type of fabric where if it touches anything with a little bit of friction or grit to it, it kind of starts to like fray up. The zipper is metal, but it is this yellow color. It held up pretty well. I had no issues with the zipper all weekend. And now my absolute least favorite part of this whole ensemble is the buttons and the straps. So the buttons themselves are plastic shank buttons. and they just sit on top of the fabric, and they're sewn very loosely. I mean, you can see right here, it's kind of flopping all over the place. It was very concerning, I guess, to keep hooking these like metal clips onto this plastic button that's sewn so loosely and kind of hoping they would stay up. I was so afraid they were gonna break like all day. They didn't, obviously, but you know, it was something I had to keep constantly thinking about, of like making sure my straps didn't get pulled on. Speaking of the straps, we've got the metal bit and you are able to slightly adjust them, which is nice. The only issue with this is, like I said, because of the plastic button, I refrained from tightening it so that it fit perfectly because I was too afraid of like my muscles flexed, if I moved my arm, of it like popping those buttons. And I found that even if they were just a little bit loose, they would not stay up. So I kept having to like readjust them or replace them because they just didn't want to cooperate. The jumpsuit itself fit pretty well. I ended up cuffing the bottom of them just for preference. I did kind of like a male Harley Quinn because I didn't have time to kind of fix up the wig at that time. So yeah, the jumpsuit, it's decent. I wouldn't immediately like throw away the costume because of these. I was a little disappointed by the fact that it wasn't like a denim with the gold kind of ironed on in some way, or even the opposite, like a gold with the other colors ironed on. But I get it. This is a printed fabric. It's easier to mass produce, and it held up to a full day of running sales and helping stock things. So now we are at part of the costume that I hate. I actively hate it. This is what makes the costume unwearable when you first receive it. It might be different if you're not, I guess, like me, but it's this top. I mean, even from just sitting here, you can see that there's like circle pads in there. But as you can see, with even the slightest bit of like pressure, do you see that whole line? So this is it wrapped around a wig head. Not a lot of pressure put on, and I'm sure you can see the entire like bra padding. It's just a circle. Yeah, see, I'm not really pulling it that tight. It's just wrapped around and you can see the whole circle. Putting this on was awful. It was just terrible. One, it didn't fit me. I'm like a 40C and it did not fit. The back strap is ridiculous. It does not cover a bra strap. Look at how high cut it is. It does not cover a bra strap, so you can't wear a bra with this, but if you stretch it, you can see the padding 100%. And there's no way to take out the padding without seam ripping. There's no like slots for it so you can adjust it or change it. They are actually, I'm seeing this now, they're actually sewn in like in the top itself on the inside. And this is an extra large. This is the largest size. So if I've got a chest measurement of 40 and I'm dealing with, you know, C cup, and it's the largest size you have, that is upsetting. It really is. It just is. I don't even have words to describe how disappointing this top was. I basically said there's no way in hell I'm wearing this. There's no way in hell I'm taking pictures in it because it's just circular boob like padding with my bra sticking out underneath. Like, it didn't even pull down far enough to go like to cover the bottom of my bra. Which I'm sorry if that's like TMI for whatever reason, but this is a mess and I do not recommend this top to anyone. To anyone. Even if you happen to be small enough to fit in this, whether you're wearing a bra or not, even just the slightest bit of stretch and you see those circular cups. Like, they're just annoying. They're just obnoxious. They're terrible, and I refuse to take picture in this. I refuse to show you guys what it looks on me, and I refuse to wear it. And not to mention actually, Harley's top is made of like a crushed velvet, so it's not even the right fabric. You can't even pretend this is right. And if they had used some sort of crushed velvet, it would have hidden those pads better. So we ended up whipping up our own. I ended up doing a male Harley just because it was easier, but we ended up whipping up this in an hour or two, and that was just because we had to adjust the neck to hide a binder, and there's no lining in it, there's nothing crazy done, there's no padding, and this is what I wore because I could not stand to wear that top, and in all honesty, this worked great. So I don't really think there's an excuse to have such a poor quality top. especially when you're paying $60, especially when Halloween stores are selling the costume for like $50 to $60, and they have wearable tops. So the costume came with jewelry and tattoos. This is the necklace. I will say, nice quality chains, last all weekend. However, there are issues with it. First being that the dog tag isn't engraved. Even Halloween stores have the dog tag engraved with Bruce. For whatever reason, this one doesn't come with it. The necklace itself is good quality. It's got 3 charms on it. The fishhook and that one. They require you to wrap it twice to get it to be the right size. And I will say, in theory, this works great because it offers the thickness of how many chains she usually wears. And at first I was very confused as why it was so big, and then, you know, once I figured out you wrap it, it was great. The only problem is when you have necklaces like this that wrap, it gets tighter in the inner wrap and then hangs lower, so I did find myself constantly adjusting it all day. That being said, it's not like a total sin. It was fine, it worked fine, it looked good. I'm just a little salty that it's not engraved with the Bruce symbol, because that's why we buy cosplay accessories, right? So that we don't have to like make those ourselves. And in order to make this accurate, I'm gonna have to go out and buy a new dog tag to attach to this and remove that one. Which is just kind of a bummer. It also came with a set of like safety pins pieced together. They were safety pins. And 1 extra chain to add on with like fake pearls on it. Just normal stuff. The tattoos themselves were awful. I will post pictures that you can see what they looked like. The full like arm sleeve tattoo was just terrible. It didn't go on right, and then it was peeling off within seconds. It barely lasts the whole day, and I wasn't rubbing at it. I was like, I'm not gonna touch it. But I would find the like crumbles of it stuck to other parts of my body. Like it would crumble off and I would find it pressed into like my palm, and then it would be stuck there because it was a temporary tattoo. So it did make it easy to take off at the end of the day. I just used a makeup wipe, even though he had brought supplies to remove temporary tattoos. But yeah, that was terrible. The face tattoo, the one that said rotten, it did not go on in one full piece. I will admit that there was definitely probably some makeup under it because I forgot about the face tattoo, but it would not come off in one piece, and I had to fill in the text with eyeliner. It ended up staying mostly well. I did find pieces of it stuck into my mask at the end of the day. And then the upper shoulder tattoo of like the pinup didn't even make it on my skin. I pressed it on, I sat there with water, and it would not detach, and then all of a sudden I got one chunk of it and the other one wouldn't attach. Also, if you didn't cut around the tattoo really closely, there was clear film that would just make it look so bad. That being said, they are just temporary tattoos. You're always kind of hit or miss with those, but they did seem particularly low quality, and I wouldn't have recommended them. I chose this version of the Harley outfit purposefully for the tattoos because it's the only version that shows the tattoos as a part of the set that you get when you buy it. And in my brain I was like, I'll get the tattoos, I'll get some cool pictures, it'll be great. But probably not worth it because they sucked. And now we just have to go into the wig. So now we're moving on to the wig. I have not touched this wig in any way other than an initial try on because like I said, I ended up not having enough time. And this is what it looks like on a wig head. So the bangs themselves are like teased right here. I'm assuming to hide, you know, where they attach, but the wigs themselves are fairly flat. So I don't necessarily get why they needed to be teased, but whatever. The side of the wig, it's like this, and the back of the wig is like this. So the back of the wig and the actual part, I was actually pleasantly surprised with. It looks pretty solid, and I've had no issues with it. Like I said, I've only tried it on once, and there are some flyaways already, but it's pretty decent. That being said, the pink are wefts that go all the way through the head. So I'm sure you could see that. Same with the blue. Not necessarily a problem, but it will become a problem when I start to style this, because First off, this is a nightmare. Like, these bangs stop like here, and then there's this side bit that's supposed to go in front of your ear. One, that's not happening on any cosplayer. It's just not. Two, Harley has really messy hair that's falling out, so my plan was to pull out some of the hair all the way down to like frame my face and make it, you know, look nicer. And I was probably gonna do it all the way to the back and like cut a little like nape back, like nape at the back of your neck. Just, you know, to make it look more natural and to hide stuff. There is also no gradient in the hair. She does have darker roots. There's nothing like that in this wig, which means that is something you would have to do yourself, which is a little frustrating since it is a pre-styled character wig. Like, it's not, like, this wig isn't being used for anyone else. It is a Harley wig. The problem then comes in with when you start pulling out the wefts, there's not a whole lot of blonde mixed in with this blue. And because it's all blue underneath, when you start shifting the wefts, it's just gonna end up being like a blue wig, which is a little hard to work around. That being said, I get it. You know, wig fibers transitioning colors is not easy. It's not fun. However, if I were to wear this wig, I would probably pull out the ponytails and redo the whole thing. Yeah. Do I think it's wearable out of the bag? Yeah, I do. Would I wear it right out of the bag? Absolutely not. Again, just because of these, I don't like that look. It's one of the reasons why I tend to avoid ponytail wigs, just because I prefer having like a short-haired wig that covers everything and then attaching ponytails or whatever. Like I said, it's definitely workable. You might have to get matching wefts somewhere else. You might be able to move some of the bangs over to hide some of this like hard edge. But I wasn't able to yet. So that really is a judgment call for you personally. I think it's a pretty good wig for the money. The quality looks good. The wefts look good. Like I said, the part is solid. It's just I'm not personally happy with the way it is. That being said, if you were looking to take out the pigtails and try and restyle it yourself, I do think there are enough wefts to do that. It does seem thick enough. You just have to be careful with the fact that it seems like all the under wefts are pink or blue, so you have to make sure there's still that bit of blonde, otherwise it won't look right, it won't look accurate. So, ultimate conclusion. For $61, this costume isn't bad. $61 is cheap for a cosplay. I don't know, I just feel like this is Halloween store quality, but I've seen the Halloween store quality and it's better than this, which is harsh, I know. And Halloween store quality does not come with the jewelry and the tattoos and stuff, so that is a point in their favor. But if I got this, I would not be able to wear it the day I got it. And like I said, I've already had to make a whole new top. I am going to have to replace the charm on the necklace. It's just not my favorite. I mean, I told you guys I would always be honest with this stuff, and yeah. It looks like a cheap costume when you put it on. It doesn't exactly scream luxury when you're wearing it. $61 is not a bad price for it. It's just, it's Halloween time. I would maybe check out your local Halloween store for a Harley costume. If it's not Halloween time, then I think this will do in a pinch. Or if you don't mind remaking parts of it. But basically it's, for me, $60 for a jumpsuit that's not great quality and some shorts with fake pockets sewn on. Because like I said, there's nothing I can do with that top. So yeah, not as positive as a review as I was hoping for. I have ordered from CosplaySky in the past, and I've worked with them in the past, and I've loved their quality. For those of you that remember, they sponsored me with a Flynn Rider costume a couple years ago, and it was beautiful. I loved it. And I've also ordered stuff from them in the past and thought it was good for the price. But I just cannot recommend this one. I just can't. So that's pretty much it. As always, guys, my name is Fox. Thank you in advance for liking, subscribing, commenting, checking out my merch, checking out my Instagram, checking out my TikTok, or not, whatever you do you. Honestly, it's totally fine. And as always, guys, I love you all very, very, very much. And I'll see you all very soon. Bye, guys.